Well, welcome everyone. Today I have the absolute pleasure of speaking with Lucy Owens, who is a personal stylist, and she transforms women's lives by the way that they dress and makes them feel completely different from how they would normally feel without her help. So welcome, Lucy.
Oh, thanks, Anne. That was a very beautiful introduction. So I'm very happy to be here talking with you. And I think one of the reasons we are talking together is because a lot of the work that you do, really around sort of women's sort of beliefs and that inner system to them has a lot of synergies with how they dress.
Yeah, because I know when we were talking together, like we really realised the importance of how they feel on the inside and how they look on the outside just has like such an impact on the results that they get. So yeah, it's going to be lovely talking with you today and just helping all these women just get more clarity about what they can do and how they can help themselves.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to talking and also finding out, Anne, more about the work that you do specifically around, the how women can really feel, good in their bodies and who they are and the way that they show up. And I think, yes, I'm looking forward to asking you some questions.
Oh, lovely. Okay, great. All right. Well, first of all, Lucy, I would really love to know, like, what impact do you think it has on women to for you to go in and look through their closet and give them the advice that comes for them,
Yeah.
working with them?
I think, Anne, I know this sounds like such a cliche. It is a cliche, but it's true. Is that I think when we look good, we feel good, and I think one of the biggest parts that I love about my job is actually going into, for example, someone's wardrobe and giving them clarity around what works and helping them really understand, how they can dress in a way that really supports them. So, supports their spirit, supports their personality, is really flattering to them, and, ultimately as well helps them show up in the world the way they want to show up, and helps them realize their dreams and their goals. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about clothes. And I think it is a really powerful tool that we have at our disposal. And we need to kind of, I think we need to leverage it as women. It is an enormous transformer when it comes to our confidence. And I think that's what I see when I work with women. I think that's probably the number one thing that I absolutely love in the work that I do. It is seeing women transform and seeing them actually for the first time, sometimes the first time in a long time for women, that they see themselves differently, and they feel proud and they feel happy, in the woman that they're showing to the world. And yeah, I think that's why I'm sort of so passionate about really, transforming women through their closets. I think that's the power that clothes have.
Yeah, and you're so right. Like for both of us, as we've been talking to each other, like we are so passionate about clothes. Like even if I'm not seeing clients who they're not coming to me because they live interstate or anything, I
Yeah.
still dress as if I'm going into an office or as if I'm going to see clients, because it really affects your confidence. It
Yes.
helps with your mindset. You're in work mode when you're dressing nice. And
Yes.
yeah, I would never be able to work in like my yoga pants or a t-shirt or anything like that. It
No.
completely changes my mindset.
Oh, 100%. And, it's so interesting that the whole concept around enclothed cognition, which is a field of study that psychologists have studied, and they've termed it enclothed cognition. And, they looked at the effects that our clothes have on our thinking processes, all of that sort of cognitive abilities. And there's a huge, huge mindset connection. And I think when, our wardrobes is, for most of us, it is the first place that we wake up and look at and go to in our day. And I think that sets the mood and the tone, totally, impacts the energy that we have for the day and the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we interact with other people. So I think, the connection is enormous.
Yeah, fantastic. And like, what do you think is the connection between our inner selves and our clothes?
Oh, I love this question, Anne, because, and I mean, I think this is where we came together, was really about discussing that inner self and that inner connection. And I think, clothing is such a form of self-expression, right? It's, I see you today in, your beautiful sort of print green and sort of blue. Is it a dress you've got on, or is it is it a dress?
Yeah, and I was nervous. I just got dressed this morning, and then I thought, oh no, I'm doing a call with a stylist. I didn't get changed.
Gorgeous. But it's gorgeous. And when I see you, I feel something about you, like we want our clothes to, I think, say something about us. At the end of the day, it is kind of this non-verbal communication. And I think there's no one style fits all. Personal style is just that. It needs to be personal, and it needs to connect with who you are at an internal level. And I think the most important thing is that you feel, there needs to be a congruency between your personality, your spirit, and the clothes that you're wearing. And I think that's really, really important for women to feel authentic, for women to feel connected to self. And I think then for other people to feel that they can connect with you and that you resonate with them. So I think, understanding who we are at an inner level is really, really important. And that's part of the work that I do with clients, because style, it's not just about your physical characteristics and what flatters you. Of course, that's, that's important. But I think so much more important than that is your personality. And I think when you start to go on a bit of a journey to discover your personal style, you actually go on a journey to discover who you are, because you've got to match your kind of outward expression with your inner essence. That's the beauty. I think that is when a woman is her most beautiful. And we all look different. We've all got different personalities and facets, even of our personality that we want to display in different situations. And I think that's when style becomes, a beautiful expression of who you are at a core kind of soul level.
Yes, and I think that's the key. Like, it's no good a woman dressing really confidently and then she going into a meeting or running a workshop and she's like a mouse, like, because they're just so
there's incongruency.
Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, you're right. The personality needs to change to fit the clothes and the role that they do as well.
Yes.
So it's like a combination of all the things that need to happen for the woman to be able to really step up into a higher, self.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, it would be no good a woman wearing really bright colours if she, didn't want to be seen.
No, exactly. And there's a lot of women who they won't want to wear red, and it is about that. It is about they're not comfortable being in the spotlight. They prefer to be someone who sort of stands back. And color's really, really powerful. I'm super passionate about color for women and the use of strategically using color in certain situations. Obviously, color's energy, it's got psychological responses, totally can change how we feel as well. And I think it's really important that, when I speak to women, they'll just sort of say, oh no, I could never wear those sort of bright colors. That doesn't feel like me. And that's, that is part of, really building your very unique personal style. It is about knowing what feels good for you. At the most basic level, it's like, what do you feel fabulous wearing? And for some women that is big, loud, bold, bright colors, and for other women it's not.
Yeah, and I've even said to some of my clients who are more on the shy side and they've got to go in and do a presentation and things like that, like, go and buy some red underwear.
Yes.
Wear it underneath your clothes if you don't want to wear it on the outside, because it can still have an effect.
Absolutely. Like those kind of symbols can help to ground us and absolutely give us confidence, whether it's red knickers or, you know, it could be a particular piece of jewelry, you know, or something symbolic to you that can help, that can help give you confidence in certain situations. Yeah, the red knickers, I love those.
Yeah. Every woman should have a pair of red knickers.
Everyone needs a pair of red knickers. Absolutely. And, you know, a beautiful healer that I used to work with, you know, she once told me to start with your knickers. She said, you know, every morning, choose your knickers based on how you want to feel. You know, are you going to go for the black lacy or the red, or are you just kind of having a cotton kind of day? You know, I think we can all do that. Start with knickers, you know, set the mood for the day with that.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. So what would you say that your clients and, you know, potential women that you work with would struggle with the most when they first come to see you?
I think probably, and there's probably two main struggles that I see. So one's related to what we were just talking about. I think, you know, I often hear women say, I don't know what my style is, or I don't have a sense of style, or I've lost my style, which all kind of come back to that same thing about they're not connected to their inner self, and they're sort of struggling to express who they are.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that the women that I see who express that and experience that, perhaps, you know, they might have had a family, you know, they're sort of gone through, you know, perhaps a period of transformation, or something in their lives. They might have left the corporate world and now they might be running their own business, or they might be, you know, stay-at-home mom. And often what I find is, you know, they've lost that connection with who they are. And, you know, I think as women, we so often put everyone ahead of us, particularly family members, and we sort of always come last. So I think for those women who are feeling that there is some work to be done in reconnecting, you know, with who they are, and getting clarity again about what makes them feel good, what would they like to see, you know, in their wardrobe, and just giving themselves some time to sort of go through that process. I think that's probably one of the main things that I see. And the other one I would see is just women confused, you know, just kind of confused about what suits them, colors, styles, you know. And I think Google, you know, body shape, or Google what colors suit me, and it's overwhelming, you know, the plethora of information. So I think being able to distill that down for clients and give them total clarity on what works, is something that the majority of my clients would be, you know, absolutely sort of seeking.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right, because like I've noticed as well that women who are in their 40s and things, they seem to go through a stage of like struggling because they're not always fitting into like young clothes anymore.
Yes,
And
yes.
they don't want to be wearing old people's clothes, so they're sort of going through a transition where they don't actually know what to wear anymore.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it is transitioning, and, you know, where we sometimes, you know, our personalities sort of still could be, you know, changing a little bit as well, sort of throughout, you know, our late sort of 30s, and then we sort of get to this point in our 40s and we think, who am I? You know, who am I, and what's the woman that I kind of want to show to the world now? So yeah, I think it often happens for women around that sort of 40 age bracket.
Yeah, yeah. And I know when I left corporate and come and lived on the Sunshine Coast, like corporate in London, what I used to wear to the Sunshine
Oh gosh,
Coast,
yeah.
completely different. But
Yeah.
actually, I love wearing like smart corporate clothes, and so
Yes.
now I've got my own business. I do, and if I go to the beach, I just tone it down and, you know, go with what's more relevant for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know, we have to go with what makes us really feel comfortable in ourselves and confident and just feel beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I think we deserve to like feel beautiful every day. We deserve to put on clothes that give us joy. You know, I think like putting on clothing that, you know, kind of makes you feel frumpy or makes you feel drab or anything like that is not good for your self-confidence at all. And clothes are, you know, like I said earlier, like clothes are a tool that will help build up your, you know, self-confidence. You know, of course, there's inner work often that needs to be done alongside that, but they can be a great kind of, you know, they can be sort of that they can, you know, you put on an outfit, and I think everyone's had an experience where they've like put on an outfit that like made them feel amazing. You know, maybe might be your wedding day, it might be a special event you had and you kind of got done up. Like that sensation, that feeling, I think it's really difficult to replicate that. Such an amazing feeling. So it's like, you know, we can have that every day. You know, we can have that feeling every day that comes from, you know, looking at ourselves in the mirror and going, wow, I look awesome. You know, I look great. I feel great. That, you know, that kind of feeling is what I really want to empower women to have every single day of their lives. And I think we deserve that as women.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's not about waiting for anyone else to tell you that you look beautiful. It's like, you know that you do.
Yeah.
And your hair looks nice, your jewelry is good, your shoes are lovely, and then the clothes in between just tie it all together. It's just...
Absolutely. And you accept yourself, you know, you embrace and you accept yourself for who you are, you know, with whatever weight you are, you know, all sort of, you know, we're all kind of our own, I think, you know, beauties. You know, there's no, I think unfortunately the Western world, the media portray an ideal standard, but we don't have to listen to that. I think we need to have our, you know, a filter up against that and just wear what makes us feel beautiful.
Yeah, because what suits someone doesn't necessarily suit someone else. So
Exactly.
everyone's got their own personal stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So lovely. So if people want to work with you, what can they do?
Yeah, so and I typically guide women through either a 30-day or a 90-day program. So my 30-day program is an accelerator program. It's going to give you all the foundations that you need for your style to have great style. So color, getting totally clear on your color, on your body shape, on your styles. And I help them define some key looks in that accelerator program. Or for a woman who's looking for a really sort of deeper, you know, kind of transformative process, lots of kind of one-on-one time, and really sort of someone to guide her through and really hold her hand to help her implement every single step of the way. That's my 90-day program. And so for details of those, I'll pop my website sort of down the bottom of this video, but it's stylerisers.com, very easy to find. So yeah, so women can just get in touch with me. We can have a call, see, you know, what she's struggling with, if I could help, and if we'd be a good fit. I think, you know, one of the things when I am working with women is that I want there to be a really good fit between us. I think that's, yeah, a really important part as well.
It is so important. If you don't have that connection with someone when you're talking to them, you're just going to have 3 months of like not wanting to do your best.
Yes.
So yeah, it is so important that you feel that and they feel it too, and then that's when the magic can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Anne, if it's okay, I would love to ask you some questions now.
Yeah, okay.
because I mean, I think when we connected, the work that you do is super interesting, and I think it is something that so many women need. So perhaps you could you know, just sort of tell us a little bit about your name, you know, as the Body Whisperer, and you know how you kind of, I suppose, came about to do that sort of work.
Yes, so as I said, I used to work in corporate, so anything to do with healing or being a body whisperer was just like completely off the scale. I wasn't interested. I just conjure up all these images that they was all like a bit crazy or woo-woo.
Yeah.
But when we actually emigrated to Australia, we went through, I was very strategic in my life, very planned, knew how everything was going to work out. Like we literally flew over to Australia for 2 weeks to get our passport stamped. During that time, we found land, found a builder, chose our tiles, our kitchen, our paint colours, and then flew back to London whilst it was built. Like that's how planned I was.
That's an incredible to be able to do all that. You're a woman on a mission.
Oh, yeah, and it was just so easy for me. It was just like it was natural. It was easy, and so when we moved to Australia, I had it planned that we didn't need to work. We had enough financial resources. We wanted to settle our children in and everything, and we ended up getting into a financial situation with the bank, investing all of our savings, borrowing money from the bank as well on their advice, putting it into the share market, and then nearly losing our home and all of our savings. Like when we started to get letters from the bank to say they was going to repossess our home, I think that was the lowest point I've ever hit in my life. And it was absolutely horrendous. And because the strategic part of me was no longer working, you know, it was like the rug had been pulled out from underneath. Um, my neighbour just lent me a book about spirituality, and I think it sat on my coffee table for about 3 weeks before I even opened it up, because I just still wasn't interested. And I started to read it one day, and it just something happened where I just thought, let's give this a go. There's nothing to lose. Like we're not winning the way we are. And so I started to talk to my husband about what I was learning and things like that. And then over the next few months, just things started to unravel, where we realised that the financial advisor wasn't telling us the truth about what was happening. And we took it further, and we managed to get out of the mess that we were in. So, you know, that book, I have no idea what that book was called, because I didn't realise it was going to be such an important part of my story. But so that happened, and it really started me on this sort of spiritual journey, learning about alternatives and different things. And then I decided I'm a real animal lover, and I decided I wanted to have a dog, but not that full commitment, because we just lost our dog when we left London. She was old, and she wasn't well at all. And so we decided to look after a CNI dog, and Ella came to us. She was 6 years old. She had cancer. She'd just had her toe amputated, so when she came, all her foot was bandaged in a pink bandage. And I remember she walked down the driveway towards me, and I just felt this shift inside me that I knew I wasn't going to let her die. And so I started to find people who would teach me how to work with Ella. We asked if we could keep her, and they said yes, because she actually came to us because the vets were going to, they'd said that there was nothing else they could do. The cancer was all the way through her body, and she'd come to us while they were sorting out the paperwork to put her to sleep. And so when we asked if we could keep her, they was like, yeah, definitely. And yeah, so I started to work with Ella. She'd come and like literally nudge me. She wanted me to work with her. I'd do what I was being taught, and she'd get up, shake and walk off. And I'm thinking, does this work? Like, you know. And over the next few months, she really got that spark back in her eye. And I said to my husband, like, it's because she lives with us now, and she's not working anymore. Like, so skeptical. There was just always things that kept coming up. And yeah, my husband ended up having an accident where some corrugated iron went through a vein and artery in his arm. And when we got back from the hospital, he'd had all these stitches. And I said to him, can I practice on you what I do for Ella? And he was a skeptic as well, and went, do what you like, I don't care. And as I started to work on him, he went, oh my God, and he said, I can't believe what's happening in my body. And he really gave me the feedback that I needed, that it actually works, and it works on humans as well as animals. And over the next couple of years, I just practiced on as many people who would let me, you know. And the whole time, like, still being skeptical, like questioning everything. Perhaps it only works on this person because of people, you know. It took a while for me to actually come round. And I tell you, the day that it actually changed is I flew over to America to do a business coaching course, and we was in a group probably of about 50 women, and I was talking to them about what I did and things like that. And the girl sitting next to me, she just looked at me and she said, how many more people have you got to work on before you actually believe that it works? And it was like she'd hit me in the chest. And I knew that from that moment on, I could no longer like keep questioning it.
Yeah.
And And I have the pleasure of working with women all over the world and clearing out their unconscious blocks and their health issues and relationship problems and money, and transforming their lives.
That is an amazing story, Anne. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really amazing story, and I think, you know, there's no coincidences, you know, in life that you picked up that book. You know, it sat there for 3 weeks. You picked it up. You know, you obviously found that you have a gift, and now you are really sharing that gift with women who need your help.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Ella was with us for 6 years, and on the day that she was going to be put to sleep, like I just said, I was lying on the floor with her. I was absolutely heartbroken. I just couldn't believe that she wasn't going to be around, and I just said to her, when you've gone, I'm not going to carry on doing this work anymore. And she lifted her head and she looked at me, and I heard her say, "Are you kidding me?" And I just knew that she'd come to me then for such a powerful reason.
Yeah.
And I just had to carry on because she literally changed my lives and the lives of so many women. And she's actually one of my guides, like she's with me now. So um, I work with the women and their pets. So
Oh, so you do pets as well?
yeah,
Yeah.
only with my clients. So what happens, like I really believe that the women are the center of the family. And if their energy is out of balance, or if they're unhappy or in pain or anything like that, their animals pick up on that energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dogs will go and get their toys or play up. Like sometimes they can have behavioural issues. They'll start weeing indoors or barking, or just becoming really different. And what they're doing is letting you know that it's not,
Something's
what's
not
going
right.
on is not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so cats are different. They can release the energy themselves, quite a lot of it. But it's really funny because when I work with my clients, the ones who have got pets, the pets are actually on the bed waiting for me to like start the session before my client like
I mean, it's an incredible connection that you have, isn't it? And I think, you know, Ali, wasn't it?
Ella, yeah.
Ella, you know, she was there to bring you a message and to set you on this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to her. She literally changed my life. So
And what is what, you know, with all of the women that you kind of work with, what would be one of the major problems that you would see, or one of the major struggles that particularly women in business would have today?
So, like women in business, when they are trying to achieve a certain money goal or anything like that, and they keep pushing themselves all of the time, what what starts to happen with all the emotions that they're feeling, because as you know, running your own business is going to cause problems. You know, you're
Yes,
going to feel emotional on certain days and things like that, and
absolutely.
doubt yourself, and you know everything that comes with it. I always say to someone, if you want to learn about who you truly are, start your own business.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. There is so much that you have to go through in terms of mindset, and yeah, that's a conversation for another day.
Yes. But what tends to happen is when they're going through that, or they're going for a promotion at work or anything like that, if they're not dealing with the emotions the way that they're meant to, then physical pain starts to show up in their body.
Yeah.
Because any physical pain or health issue in the body, I believe, is caused from an emotion that's got stuck.
Yes, and it's manifested itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's why some people can have like lots of pain in their gallbladder and have it removed, and then all of a sudden they've got lung problems. It's because the emotional energy has moved from the gallbladder to the lung, and they need to go and find out what's causing the problem and get to the root cause of it.
Get to the root of it. Absolutely. And I've experienced that as well. And I think you're right. It is unresolved emotions that stay in our body and give us disease, which, you know, really then manifest into a physical kind of disease or uncomfortability sort of within our bodies.
Yeah, definitely. And like we're just not taught that feelings like guilt or shame that you can have when you're running your business, or when you're working long hours because you're not being the perfect mum, not
Yeah.
being the perfect partner, that those type of emotions, that guilt and shame, are just such low vibrational energy, and once
Yes.
they start to build up in the body, you know, the physical pain is going to hit you like a truck.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes as women, what happens is, instead of resolving those at an early time, we wait until we have kind of got that feeling of, you know, being hit by a truck, or that it is kind of progressed into to the point where we can't ignore the pain that's in our body. And it's only at that point that we do start to do the inner work. Whereas we need to sort of be, I think, become more aware of those emotions, and that's sort of a lot of work that I've had to go through as well, to become much more aware of those emotions early on, because I think it's only then that you can really sort of change, you know, how you react to things, and and your energy, and the opportunities that you attract, the people that you attract. And I think that's super, super important in business.
Yeah, definitely. And it's right, it's about attracting. So if you're in those low, like vibrational emotions of anger and overwhelm and anxiety, you know, all of those type of things, and you're trying to get more clients or grow your business in some way, or get the promotion, or get your colleagues to back you up and things like that, you're not vibrating at that type of level. And so you're going
No.
to keep working harder and harder and just not attracting what you want. And that's why women can feel like they're just working so hard and not getting the results that they want. And the danger with that is that they're heading towards burnout. And
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
terrible illness, burnout.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, it is so important to do that inner work. It is critical. I think it underpins, you know, our success, the way that we feel in life, everything. So, and do you think it's unrealistic to think that so much positive change can come from doing the inner work, or what's been your sort of experience around that?
No, it's not unrealistic at all. Like I'm the skeptic who usually works with other skeptics and like helps them on this new path. Um, the results, like I can have people come to me who've lived with health issues for like 20 years,
Yeah.
and they have spent thousands going to osteo or chiros or physio, you know, taking medication, having MRI scans. They've tried absolutely everything in the Western world to try and help them, and like they'll be better for a couple of days after a treatment, and then it comes back again. And so they sometimes come to me as a last resort.
Yes.
And you know, I'll work with them and the pain leaves their body and doesn't come back. Like they when they first start to feel the um, pain has gone, they actually in their mind keep going, where is it?
Yes.
Because they've
It
had
almost
it
expects you
becomes
to
part of them.
return.
Yeah, it becomes part of them. They talk to
Yes.
people when they meet up with friends. It's like, oh, how's your back? Or you know,
Yes.
things like that. And so they're like, I teach them how to move into the new person that they are as well, because they're no longer who they used to be. And the other thing as well is um like I had a lady called Sally who come to work with me, and she had, when I do the free consultations with people, she literally cried for 30 minutes. Like she just felt it was such a relief to be able to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And on the outside, everyone thought that she really had it together. She was
Yeah.
very successful in what she was doing. But underneath, she was literally falling apart. She was having relationship problems. Her health was a mess. She had fibromyalgia. She was getting headaches, you know,
Mm.
putting on weight. And yeah, she just didn't know what else to do. And she said to me when we finished working together, I am so excited about my life now. And that just gives me so much joy to be able to have made such a difference in someone's life.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I think it's something that I hope hopefully will change, that, you know, this sort of work is a last resort rather than it actually being a first resort, because I think we could avoid so much pain, and save so much money if we actually did the inner work first before looking for, you know, medications that really don't work at that deeper level. They're really only giving us a solution to the symptoms of the problem.
Yeah.
And so I hope that, you know, in time that more people can actually look at this as being the first point of call rather than it being, you know, the last resort.
Yes. Yeah, and you're right. And that's what like women do. They drink more wine, like it's
Yeah.
gone from probably 1 glass a night to
We
2 to
self-medicate.
bottle.
Yeah.
And then they're hoping all their neighbours don't hear as they tip it all into the recycling bin.
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah.
go shopping, or they eat junk food, you know, or the medication. And so
Yes.
they're all ways of suppressing what's really going on. But
Absolutely.
the body is so amazing. It is so intelligent that it
Yes.
will just shout louder until you notice. And if you don't pay attention to it, then unfortunately you leave the planet.
I think, you know, that's one thing that I think, you know, as women, we have an amazing sense of intuition. And I think a lot of women in our busy, sort of such fast-paced world, we forget to actually listen to that sense of intuition and trust it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I say to women all the time, you know, listen to your intuition about your clothes, like use it for what makes you feel good. And we need to listen to it as well when our body sends us a signal that something's not out of alignment, it's out of balance. Then, or there's, you know, an emotion coming up for us, we need to listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. Because really we've been told to not feel it,
Yes.
or push it down, go and distract yourself with Netflix or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it is so important that you do listen to your intuition. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's
And
our
I
best
think,
guide.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even me, that's how I choose my clothes in the morning. Like I'll go to my
Yes.
wardrobe and just think, what do I feel like wearing today? And it will sort of pop out at
It's
me.
the best guide.
Yeah.
It's the best guide, and we need to listen and trust it more. Well, Anne, if women would like to work with you, what's the best step for them to take?
So I offer a free consultation because I want to talk to the women first and make
Yeah.
sure that we are a great fit.
Yeah.
I work with women all over the world as well, so distance doesn't matter, and they just lie down on their own bed and have the session instead of coming to me in person. And yeah, we have a free consultation and decide if we want to work together, and if we do, then we go ahead.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and they can go to my website, it's annolaharris.com.
Yeah.
But
Well, I loved this conversation. It's not the first that we've had, but it's, I think, our second, and I hope that there's many more, because I could talk to you for many hours about these kind of topics.
yeah, thank you. And that's why we're doing this, because we're so passionate about the inner work and the outer appearance, because
Exactly.
we both believe so strongly that it's a package.
It is a package. It is. And it's getting that, you know, I think a woman turning up in her power and her presence and being really beautiful, it is a beautiful synergy between those two.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Anne. It was beautiful talking to you.
Thank you, and I'll speak with you soon.